Welcome in, y'all. Timeshare Clarence. It's December 19th, 2025. Um, I'm in Covington, Louisiana. It's a little bit outside of New Orleans. Came down here to just take some time to kind of reset. My birthday's coming up. So just really wanted to go into this next year mindful with some clarity. Reflect on some of the things, well, a lot of the things that I've been through for me to be where I'm at, and also kind of, I guess, explain at this point where my mind is at, where my goals are, my focus, kind of what's the outline, because I know that it'll change in all likelihood, but basically, like what I'm thinking about right now as far as my plans. So, with all that being said, I want to thank God for blessing me with another day, another opportunity to work towards becoming a man I desire to be. I really don't say that lightly or take it for granted. Every day is an opportunity, and I need to make the most of them. So anyway, came down to New Orleans because I never really do anything for my birthday, anything big. And even now, I'm not necessarily doing a lot. I got some tickets to Pelicans game. Went down there last night. And then I got some tickets tomorrow, which is actually my birthday. Bought a couple Groupons, tried a couple spots off Too Good to Go. You know, my normal routine. But went on my little walks in the morning, which I haven't been doing consistently everywhere. I do it. I guess I do it everywhere other than St. Louis, which I don't know why not. Anyway, so just really thinking about what I need to be doing. Got a few decisions to make because I'm unemployed at the moment. I know I want to do insurance, at least give it a shot. You know, just like timeshare, I do still believe like timeshare is always going to have a special spot in my heart, not just for the opportunity to kind of change my direction as far as career, but also to kind of shine the light on how important it is to spend quality time with friends and family when you can. So anyway, what I want to do while I'm here, I want to catch up with my guy, David, and talk about my plans or goals as far as Primerica, which at this point I am going to step away from. I decided, but not permanently. So let me just lay out the plan and then, like, I guess the history, or let me do it that way, history then the plan. So since I got out of the Army, a little bit of time, I worked basically at a manufacturing facility doing inspections. Then after that, went to school, stay at home dad, and I was hustling, selling weed. I was doing all kind of stuff. As I was kind of doing part-time personal trainer thing. No, I ain't make a lot of money doing that, but I had, a couple sessions, couple clients. Like I said, I was selling weed. For a minute, I did FES. I never made any money off that. Signed up a couple people, but that's how I got introduced to network marketing. So me and Devin put a lot of work into that. I was going around putting out flyers every day and all this other stuff. But anyway, it was appealing to me because of the potential. But it also showed me how much it doesn't really matter how much you want to help people if people don't want to help themselves. And credit is just not a priority for a lot of my community, at least not higher than other stuff. Because when people barely getting by, they're not really worried about their credit. They worried about, you know, paying their bills. So anyway, but it introduced me to network marketing. So that was kind of the plan. I was considering going to the VA, which I still might do that. So just bear with me because I'm working through all of this while I'm trying to record. So thought about going to the VA, which I still think about as like a peer specialist for behavioral health. I think that is something I definitely will do because I know so many veterans deal with a lot of the things that I deal with and struggle with from the men's groups and everything else. And I mean, it just even in my situation, it seemed like every time I get a decent peer support person, they leave. So I don't think the money is great, but I do want to do that to kind of give back because the military has done a lot for me. And as much as it's impacted me, I know it's other people that have been through a lot more than me, suffered a lot more than me. So just to give back. So that's part of it. So VA in some capacity, probably, okay. And a veterans group. I haven't got there, but again, the older I get, the more veterans I interact with, the more I want to help more and more veterans. So these are the things that I see myself doing in the future. Just don't know when. So helping vets in some capacity, whether that be through the VA or another veterans organization, timeshare, insurance, and my, I guess, food review thing, the vital health. So it's a lot of different stuff, but like all of it is stuff that they don't conflict with each other. And all of them will be a big part of what my life turns out to be. So how does this work? So FES introduced me to network marketing. I do believe network marketing is going to be a big part of whatever, right? But then within that, I got introduced to Primerica, which introduced me to insurance. Okay. So then now on the insurance side, I don't want to do Primerica, but I want to do insurance. But on the network marketing side, I want to be involved with Primerica in some capacity. And then on the network marketing side, I got introduced to BG, which I do want to get my people on. It's just everybody is skeptic. So I know everybody's not as willing to take chances as I am. So, I put my little money in it and I'm letting it add up. And when I get enough and I can actually pull it out, I'll give the money to like my immediate family so they can do the same thing. Cause I ain't worried about the timeline. I know these things are, you're supposed to get in and hit the ground running and try to get everybody in, but that's just not how I operate. So with the BG thing, I know once I get enough money to where it's proof, then I'll just give everybody else the money to join. And then from there, it's on them and I'll put whatever money in that. The vital health thing, I got to get the money to pay for my little stuff. But that's important because, again, I want to live as long as possible from basically the system telling you everything wrong with you and how to treat it with, natural products, not relying on all of this medicine. Anyway, what else? So I don't see myself really getting back at FES. I don't see doing Primerica until I got a wife that want to do Primerica. But I will, be open about that. That is a desire of mine. But I don't want to do it by myself because I'm not a real social person. So the prospecting aspect is what I don't like about network marketing, because maybe it's my circle. Yeah, but ain't nobody trying to do that but me, maybe, 2 or 3 people, but you gotta be a certain type of person to be interested in that. And the vast majority of people that I deal with are not those type of people. And I'm not really the type of person to develop a lot of relationships with people for no reason or just be social. But I feel like, I would be more like that if I had a partner and somebody to support me and, developing that aspect. And also for me to be able to lean on them, because I got the back end of it. It's just the front part. So with that being said, since I want to do insurance, I think the best thing for me to do, even if it's not long term, is to do insurance, but do Globe Life. So I got to get out of whatever contract I have with Primerica, because with Globe Life, I'm doing insurance, but I'm not prospecting. So that allows me to get experience doing insurance. They have a vesting system that's 10 years. So after you do 10 years, you're 100% vested, you get all of your residuals, but you 10% vested a year. So the way I see it is, as long as I do that, I'm getting experience in the industry. If I find a wife, she can do Primerica and we both still doing the same thing, and I can help her with that. But, we could benefit from both sides of it. And ultimately, if Primerica develops, because let me pause on that so I can, I guess, lay out my thoughts on Primerica, because my brother, Devin, really got an issue with Primerica. And I heard him, and I also understand his issue, because he feels like, they target poor black people and they don't really follow through on the promise. And I could see how it would be easy to maintain that perspective, if you want to. Now, because the outlook is, so they kind of people into buying term policies, but and then convincing them, just by the term policy, because the investment aspect of it is going to be there, but then they not really following through on the investment aspect. So people just buying term policies and then, they expiring, but they never did the investing. So now 20, 30 years later, you just ain't got no insurance. So you can't get no insurance because you owe, because you bought this term policy because they sold you this dream, but then they only follow through on the first half. Okay. And I can understand that. Now, my perspective is that's on them people. And I ain't trying to be like dismissive, but the reality is you can invest something, whatever that is. And the easiest way to invest, if I'm being real, is just, living off a percentage of your income and being that disciplined, because it's possible. It's possible to live however you really want to live if you're willing to do the work to either increase your income or stretch the income you have further. So, I know that because that's what I'll be doing. That's what I'm doing right now. Like, I didn't use the vacation, and the biggest excuse everybody have is money. But like, I go on vacation and I don't spend a lot of money. Now, do I think I'll spend more money in the future? Absolutely, when I have it. But I ain't got it right now, but it ain't gonna stop me from vacationing or having life insurance or whatever. So my perspective is, we all adults, you know what I mean? I could completely justify, I have a Primerica policy because I'm betting on myself. Now, flip side of the coin is, so most of the people that would be interested in this is probably in a mid 30s to mid 40s. So let's say they get a 30-year policy. Hey, if you got 30 years, even just having making a decent living and being responsible with your money, you should be able to retire. You know what I mean? Especially now, I know a lot of people are single individuals, and that's a challenge. But I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded because of the decisions I made. I know I'm gonna be all right, and because of the things I do, I know I'm gonna be all right. So I don't really feel sorry for nobody, because you had an opportunity. If somebody tell you, hey, you in your mid 30s or even 40s, You need to start investing, because by the time you stop working, whatever your retirement or whatever, like, it ain't gonna be enough money to live off, and then you're gonna be having to continue to work if you don't want to. And you don't listen, that's on you. But again, my perspective is different, because I really I don't have a desire to stop working. And again, maybe that'll change decades from now. But the way I see it is as long as I'm doing something that I believe in, which is why I want to do the stuff that I want to do, work with the VA. I'm never gonna stop wanting to help vets. You know what I mean? Doing insurance. I'm never gonna want to stop helping people protect their family interest, right? Timeshare, I'm never gonna want to stop vacation. I'm never gonna want to stop helping people vacation better. So anyway, those are the things that I'm gonna do. Like the credit, I really don't care. Like, it would be great if people cared about their credit, but ultimately, like, the other things I really believe in, and that's what it is. So if I do Globe Life, even if I do 10 years and I'm vested in it, then I just transition to Primerica. I've been in the industry for 10 years. I got this residual income from that. I got whatever income I'm making from all of the other stuff. And if my wife want to do Primerica, I've helped her build her business, and then I can slide over there and do whatever, because I believe in it. Man, we need to protect. It's better than not having nothing. And I understand what Devin's saying 100%, but that's the alternative. So, like, it ain't, hey, this is, the end all be. But right now, man, put something in place, right? Just in case something happened, because the risk versus the reward. My dad, if he had bought a term policy the same time I did, all right? So same scenario, 3 kids, all right? So my policy start off as 1.25 million, and then the coverage will decrease in a decade, and then the decade after that. But even in the last decade is 500,000. So say my dad bought that policy the same time I bought that policy, and he would have been in that second term. So me, Devin, and Crystal would have had $1 million to split, but he didn't, right? So I got some shoes and a pen, and I ain't mad about it. I'm just saying. So for him to be dismissive of that, it's like, bro, it's better than nothing, because most of us have nothing. My cousin Nikki passed in her early 30s. My uncle Keith passed in his early 30s. My dad passed in his early 60s. My grandma, like, a lot of these people were in that 30-year range when they passed, like, where at least their family would have got something, versus what happened, because none of us really been set up or ever left anything by anybody. Now, the people that live beyond that. So my grandfather, George Washington, and Maybelle, like, say they outlived their policies. But they had a house, they had 401ks, whatever. Like, they still left their family something, versus all these people that just gone and ain't left nothing but heartache. So anyway, I don't want to ramble too long, but I know what I want to do and why I want to do it. And I know I got to get so much better as a person to make all this stuff happen. But I ain't just throwing darts in the dark. So I'm going to do timeshare because I want to travel, and I want to travel better. But this is where we are. I'm in New Orleans. I wouldn't have been here last year or any other year prior to this, especially by myself. And I don't want to be by myself, but I am. And hopefully next year I won't be, but I'll be traveling. Now, again, whether that's with my kids or whether that's with a partner and my kid, whatever, like, that's what I'm going to do. So timeshare going to be there. Again, it's me having my Primerica policy give me so much peace of mind. If anything happened to me, my kids straight. Now, yeah, they not all getting millions of dollars, but they splitting $1 million. And that's better than me just being gone and not having nothing. And in the time that that policy will expire, I will have more than that to leave them, because I am going to get a 4-family property, in all likelihood in Vegas. And at the rate where the market is right now, even if it's not great for me, I ain't paying for it. That's the point. So I'll have it. And by the time I'm gone, whether that's 2-3 decades or 5 or 6, whatever, that property would be worth, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Plus it'll be just passive income that'll go to my kids. And I hope that they listen to me, because I don't want them to have to go do the stuff. Just use mine, because that's what I'm doing it for. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully their mom do something with herself and she got something to leave them too. But I'm gonna make sure I leave my kids something. So the real estate, I don't see myself getting in real estate, like being a real estate agent, but I do see myself investing in multifamily properties enough to make sure I can ensure a certain quality of life. So the plan, it's a lot of moving parts, but all of it is part of the plan. Getting multifamily properties, selling insurance, selling timeshare, doing network marketing, doing a BG investing. I ain't gonna say probably. I want to become a Mason, so I gotta holler at my guy Big Al about that, because that at this point I do need to foster relationships and network. And because even right now I'm in New Orleans, maybe if I was a Mason, or if I had some type of community beyond being a veteran, then I wouldn't be spending my birthday by myself. You know what I mean? So anyway, thought a lot about where I'm at, and this trip is allowing me to just have that time to disconnect and really process. Okay, I got 18 months. I got to make this happen. And how I'm going to make it happen? So I'm unemployed, but I do have my 100%. So living within my means. So making sure I clear up all of my debt as soon as possible, so that all I got to worry about is my monthly expenses, so that when I do move into this house, I don't even have no monthly expenses. And at that point, I can start really investing more and trying to make, opportunities to have more passive income. Insurance, get good at it, like learn all about it, not just so I could sell it. So